Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we have been expanding out over this direction, and we've definitely got a little bit of work to do on that yet. The real question is, are these going to get moved anytime this century? That would be nice, but unfortunately it doesn't seem too likely as of right now. We definitely need to get 2 tiles of road right here, but there's an amate maker right there. So we got to get this moved, and hopefully we'll be able to have both of these up here. Although I'm wondering if we took a road like this, would we reach any of this up over here? The answer appears to be no. Okay. So in that case, there's no real reason to do this, and we'll just cancel that. Okay, so that's understood. There's more ficus out here if we need it, but to be honest, our primary export here is most likely going to be cotton. So that seems relatively fine. Now, goods have been stolen from a trading post. We're working on building a sentry post right now. Goods have been stolen from a farmer's hut. That's going to be somewhere out over here. If we take a look at the crime out here, yeah, that's going to be this down here. We're working on it. We've got a couple of sentry posts being worked on down this way. So that should be okay. We've got a sentry post being worked on up here, a sentry post being worked on here. So crime should be fairly under control once we get those done. But that's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to have to work up our might. That's absolutely a concern. And I'm thinking out over this direction, we probably want to put in a wall that goes like right about here or so, or maybe even like right over here, perhaps. For the moment, I'm not terribly concerned about it. We haven't been attacked yet. We'll find out if we get attacked. Out over this direction, we could just put a wall in that goes something kind of like this or so. I don't know. The square tiles are going to make that kind of awkward out here because we want it to be diagonal, right? And that's not how walls work. So that'll be interesting for sure. We'll see how we want to get that done. So we've got these cotton weavers up over here, and this all looks correctly set up over this way. We've got this well dipper that is needing some staff, and we've got these common homes right up over here. They need access to some of these resources, or rather some of these services up over here, but it's all built, so that should be relatively fine. Goods have been stolen from a farmer's hut again, and we just finished up this sentry post here, so that should be looking pretty good. We should get that crime wave a bit under control, hopefully. I'd really, really like it if some of this out over here would get finished. But alas, we don't seem to be particularly concerned about doing that right now. So that's understood. Our population is at 2680 out of 8,000. Our prestige is at 8 out of 50. So if we want to build up our prestige, a good way to do that would be to get a royal palace built. And to be honest, this would be an okay spot to do it. It would be. Let's get that built in here, and I want to get roads around it. So this is going to be a little bit awkward in the roads here, because as you can see, it goes up by one size, but it actually looks kind of okay as I look at it there. I'm not opposed to that. So we'll get a royal palace building. That will be absolutely fine for our prestige. That'll boost it up a good amount. And we're probably going to want to get some additional forces going here soon enough. So we can definitely think about a barracks, perhaps up over this way. I kind of like that spot. It causes a bit of a road blockage here, but it's fine. We can then run the road around over this way, and that definitely creates a fairly organic feeling. I like it. I think that's fine. So we'll get that going. That will, of course, have nobles from the royal palace, and that looks great. So we're going to need like a sauna, house of healing up here, you know, all of that stuff to upgrade our royal palace, but that's understood. We'll get going on that, and that'll be fine. So we definitely do want to get a barracks going, mostly because we may get attacked here, according to the briefing. So we'll see if that happens. It might. It very well might. So we're still working on the Chinampas out over this direction. That's understood. Those should be pretty underway. We shouldn't really have much of a problem with that, in theory. Emphasis on in theory. And we could theoretically Chinampa this, but it seems fine for now. So as of right now, we need to be working on bringing up our culture. And to that end, we could definitely think about like a great temple out over here, which is apparently free. It's also huge. So there is that. And this has abysmal symmetry right now. So we may not want to consider that for the moment. What about a temple to, say... Let's see, who was it that is... Yeah, you. So we wouldn't be able to build a temple to Quetzalcoatl. I think that's okay. So we would build perhaps like here. That's abysmal symmetry, awful symmetry, abysmal symmetry, awful, abysmal. Okay, there's no good symmetry up over here. Noted. So for now, I'm not terribly concerned about it. I do want to let some of these constructions finish. We're going to need a lot of artwork. Oh, look, we're over here now. Okay, so we also are going to need gold artwork for this. And that means that we'll want to have one singular, I think that was a goldsmith. We don't need any more than one goldsmith. And we can just put that in right here. Excellent. I do want to get a road that comes out about like this. There we go. So one singular goldsmith, that's all we need. Now this out over here, I'm interested in extending out to here and then removing this section of road here. That did not actually remove this. There we go. Removing this section of road like that. So we're just moving this road downward a little bit, and that should be good. So we'll get that underway, and that's going to boost our might somewhat anyway. And our culture is slowly going to come up as well. Our prosperity should be reasonably fine. For the moment, we're just trying to get our exports a little bit more online. So these cotton weavers are looking pretty good in their cotton buds. Goods have been stolen from a trading post. Okay, so we're getting a lot of reports of crime. Well, it should be getting under control in theory. There are definitely some areas that aren't very covered, including down here, and this sentry post needs to get built for that. Over this direction, I believe this sentry post is required to access these two farmhouses. Okay, just this farmhouse. And we're going to have a bit of a difficult time reaching up here, it looks like. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit rough, unless this reaches. No. So this farmhouse, we're going to have a hard time getting to. We could think about just Chinampaing one singular location out over here, or just building it right here. Honestly, that makes sense. Why wouldn't we do that? Let's just put a sentry post right there. Problem solved. So that means that the farmhouse is going to have to go on this side, and that's fine. I'm just going to have to remember that. Or we could build the farmhouse now, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put in a farmer's hut right here. Can we get the maze in for right now if we put it here? Not really is the answer. So we can just get up to 9, up to 10 of the maze. Well, that would be 14, and then 15 and 16, like that. So we're just going to have to expand this out later. We need to wait on the Chinampas. So that seems okay. So for now, everything is looking fine on that front. We should be absolutely A-okay as far as money goes. But I would definitely like to see these make a little bit more progress over here. We're not getting much progress done over this way. Wait a second. Oh, you're just maintaining. Okay. Sad. So I think the issue is that this porter yard is probably a little bit overworked. That's my current guess. So what do we want to do about that, if that is indeed the case? Well, we can go up over here and put in a second porter yard right up over here. So that would go in right about here. I want it like as up close to the water as we can to give ourselves space to work with over here. So that would then be set to clay, stone, and timber only, and we'd be set to getting all of those like that. Because one thing to remember is that this is accepting clay and timber. It's only getting stone and cotton buds. So this is definitely keeping our porters here very, very busy. No doubt about that. So that seems fine. We'll head on down over here, get this porter yard built, and that will hopefully speed things up in this area. Hopefully. So that seems okay for now. Our royal palace is actually really close to being built, and our goldsmith is lacking cash right now, but they'll get there. I don't suppose that we can export gold art. No, it has to be jewelry that we export. Okay, that's a little sad. So our barracks is making progress as well. That only needs 50 stone at this point. So that is looking good. We are exporting Amate here. Yeah, I see a little bit built up there. That seems fine for now. Our food situation is very positive, which we're not surprised about in the slightest. So that looks great. We're definitely making progress up over here. We've got a couple of Chinampas here. This one's maturing. This one still needs clay. And this porter yard can reach it, so we should get there eventually. But as we can see, there's definitely some flooding ongoing out over here. So we should think about upgrading these external canals to stone canals, which I'm going to get started on. So we'll have all of these external ones get upgraded. I don't believe that we need to upgrade any internal canals. But we'll just do something like this. And get that flooding a bit more under control. So we'll do that, and then this is all going to be canal here. This is all going to be stone canal. This is stone canal. And I believe it comes out over this direction. Yeah. So it's going to go something kind of like that. That's going to take quite a lot of investment to do. No doubt about that. But we'll get that underway. Once those stone canals are built, we'll be in a much better flooding position up over this direction, and that'll help us tremendously. So that seems great. And overall, we just need to be working on increasing these numbers. Some of our workshops are lacking stone and cash. I'm really not too concerned about that. Make sure a collector visits this venue to provide access. Ah, okay, that's how that gets delivered. Well, we can definitely put a collector right up over here. Consider it done. So that looks great. And we have a collector here. We don't have one over this way, do we? We probably should. So if we put in a collector over here, this would require a scenic neighborhood, but this counts as a scenic neighborhood right here. It's a kind of awkward position, but sure, we'll get that going. So that'll provide civil service down here, and then, yeah, that overlaps, so that should be pretty good on the civil service front. Down over this direction, we could think about another collector about here or so. That'll reach some of this. We could also put it in right here, though. But that doesn't connect out over this way. So that's a little bit awkward, for sure. We'll have to think about how we want to handle that. For now, I think we'll just leave it be. We've got a lot of irons in the fire for the moment, and we just kind of need to wait for stone to come in. So that seems good. We've got a lot of cotton building up in our trading post, and that seems great. I want to check in 15, 14, 13, 12, 16, 16, 18, 16, 14, only 4 here, and then 13 here. So we seem to be pretty good on our cotton buds. Let's check in on our flow of cotton buds. So we can see right now that our balance is projected to be 48. So yeah, this should be fine. I think this is plenty of cotton weavers, and we don't need additional cotton farms. Our exports are looking great on that front. So that seems good. We can start to bring in obsidian, which I'm going to do. That's going to be expensive, and we're not actually using it at this moment. We also may need to do an import of salt. Let's do that here. There we go. So we'll get an import of salt going, and that will mean that we can start having... And this here, where's the nearest porter yard? This one up here? Okay. Getting stone, and then I want getting weapons and armor, because this is going to supply this fortress. And then up over here, we're going to do weapons and armor, and that's accepts. We don't have enough space here. We could maybe put in a porter yard, or rather a porter stop, somewhere over this direction. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to put in a porter stop here. This is going to be weapons and armor, and we're going to accept them. And then I want to put in a armorer right here. And then I also want to put in a single blade napper. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get our barracks and our fortress serviced. We'll see. But we'll get those going for now. So this has space for one thing. Well, we have cotton here right now. We can be getting salt. But we're going to need a source of obsidian up here and timber. We have timber. So all we need is obsidian then. I'm going to take this to a porter yard. It needs to be a little bigger. So that's going to go right here. And that is going to be... Well, we're definitely going to want to have timber. We'll be getting timber, clay, and stone. But then I also want this to be accepting weapons and armor. And then we'll be getting obsidian here. Okay. So something like that. And then we can have additional production out over here if we feel like it's strictly necessary. So a blade napper can go... like here-ish. Yeah. And then an armorer can go here. And then we can take a road out and around like that. And the question is, are these in range of this porter yard? And the answer is yes, they are. Okay, beautiful. So we'll get that going. That seems fine. That'll get us some amount of weapons and armor production. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. We'll see. But of course, that's going to require resources and time, so we'll let that go for a little bit. We're going to need to import additional stone, and that's always going to be a thing. Stone and salt are going to be constant demands. For sure. We're definitely seeing better on the flooding. That looks good. Significantly improved. So that's fantastic for now. Goods have been stolen from a small cottage. Okay, yeah. We're still working on getting this sentry post and this sentry post built. We need stone coming into the city. So that's going to be the constant refrain for this entire map. Anytime we can't make our own stone, stone is going to be a big bottleneck. That's for sure. And it's very frequent in this game that you're not allowed to make your own stone. So that's noted. We're probably going to need additional housing up over here. I'm thinking about taking this like that, and then putting in some housing right up over this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is, I think, sufficient. There we go. Something about like that. And then we can take this over like that, approximately. That'll be fine. I don't know what we want to put in here, but I'm sure we'll put something in. Maybe religion. We'll see. We can see up over here, ambience is a problem for this housing, but we'll get there. So that all looks good. That will definitely get us additional workers up over here, which we do definitely need. No doubt about that. We need housing up this way. So this collector is not done yet. That needs stone. We'll get there. We may want to get another trading yard importing stone, to be honest. I'm going to get this going, and this is going to be trading with... Hang on. So this is currently set to importing stone, importing salt, and exporting amate. I'm going to take down the salt import here, and I'm going to have this be set to importing stone and salt. So this is going to be importing stone and salt. This one is going to be importing stone and amate, and exporting amate. Something along those lines. Now, these have not been moved yet. That's unfortunate. And this porter yard, it's still being worked on. It's in range of this porter yard, I think. That's interesting. This porter yard is in range of this porter yard, but this porter yard is not in range of this porter yard. Okay, I'm not sure why that's the case. But it is in range of this border yard, obviously. So we mostly just need to import large amounts of stone. That's what needs to happen here. But we now have our barracks finished. That's looking good. We don't have education up this way either. We should probably be thinking about putting that in. I'm just going to get that in there. Excellent. That should do for now. And they have a sweeper right here. They shouldn't need significant services here just yet. So we are going to need weapons and armor here, of course, and that's fine. The obsidian, unfortunately, has to come from the capital, and that's going to be expensive. And this is just exclusively set to exporting cotton. It's going to get filled up with cotton. We're probably going to need another trading post that is exclusively exporting cotton. So let's actually put that in up over this way. So that'll be a trading post right up over here. And that's going to be exporting cotton, not to the capital, but rather here. I don't know if that's the same location or not. It is. Is there another location that we can export cotton to? That's getting exports. We can export it to the capital, but we don't want to do that. So it'll be like this. That's fine. So we'll get that underway. That looks good. We still need 97 stone for a royal palace. That's not shocking. There's a lot of stone needed up over here. We do have a god displeased by our lack of devotion, and that is... yeah, we're neglecting a number of these, actually. Okay. Noted. We'll get back to that. For the moment, that's going to require stone and artwork. That's a big ask for right now. We'll get there. So we're definitely going to need to export additional cotton, no doubt about that. And this market up over here is served by this granary, so that should be absolutely fine. No problem there. And we'll just continue to expand up over on this side. Everything is looking great right now. We just need to get this all completed over this way. So do we have any obsidian coming in yet? Well, possibly. Yep, we definitely do. The obsidian is on its way. That's this right here. Beautiful. So once that's here, we'll be in a good position there. Looks like we have imported some salt, so we're starting to produce armor as well. Looks great. And we've got our maize right nearby as well. So that looks good. The real question, of course, is, are we going to be producing enough weapons and armor for these two from these 4 buildings? If not, we can expand our production. It's not a huge deal. And we can absolutely be continuing to work on our training here. So this looks great. No issue there, but we do want to get our royal palace built. For that, all we need now is a gold artwork. For that, of course, we need to get this collector built, and for that we need 50 stone. So that's not surprising at all. You can see that we are currently net negative for the year. This is probably going to change because we're early on in the year and we just got obsidian and salt imports, so that's probably fine for right now. These are still not moved. We're having extremely slow progress down here, and I think that's because our stone imports here, and then from there, it appears to prefer to flow out this direction. We do have some stone in this border yard, 25 stone there, but yeah, we definitely have a big lack of stone, and it appears to be prioritizing this, which I don't actually mind. For now, that's okay. So we want to get these trading posts finished. Those are a very high priority because that's going to get us more stone. So that seems good. I'm very okay with that. It is about time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on this, and we should be running through our stone deficit fairly soon here. I hope to see this down here get finished up eventually. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.